I've had days in my life that have shaped the direction my life has taken. And I didn't know those epiphanies had such influence in the moment. But looking back, they were the roadmap to the life I've chosen. I observe the snow from the first flake that falls onto the ground and does not melt. I know where the good snow is, and I know how to find good skiing. I ski simply because it feels good, and I love it. And I love to move in that way. It's one of the most amazing forms of travel. It's so simple. It's simpler than a wheel. You're just simply sliding on a plank. My name is Nat Patridge, and I'm a mountain guide working for Exum Mountain Guides. A good ski partner is someone you feel comfortable with, but then it's really fun to simply play with in the mountains. Two of my favorite ski partners that I've had in my life have been Doug Coombs and Hans Sari. What was amazing about skiing with those two people is how much they loved it. Hans is a very intense individual who loved to ski very steep ski mountaineering lines. Yeah, I think Hans and I were drawn together. We love to ski really steep technical lines that no one had skied before, and we loved to ski mountaineering. And so that was our common goal together recreationally. We were a bunch of 30-year-old guides charging around, and we were aggressive. And we had a big opinion of our skill set. We were cocky, I thought. In retrospect, I think. I was tumbling, engulfed in the snow. I tumbled through some rocks, and there was lots of snow packed into my mouth. I remember the French doctor shot me with a syringe full of morphine. And that was the last memory I have because I went into a coma for 6.5 days.
Voilà donc ce patient qui est tombé après un grave accident de ski, qui a présenté une double fracture tibia-péronée de la jambe droite, compliquée d'une embolie graisseuse qui est très très grave. Son état est stable pour l'instant, mais ça peut aller très vite. Donc 40% de survie dans ce cas-là.
Waking up from a coma is like waking up from the worst hangover you've ever had in your life. Because your brain is so numbed, you're not able to perceive many things around you at all, and maybe it's one or two things. A voice, some light coming through the window, a bird on an adjacent branch, and it all fades in very slowly until you can perceive two things at once. 3, and then maybe more. And it happens over a course of 2 or 3 days coming out of a coma. It's not a switch that goes off. Is you just become slowly aware and cognizant of things around you, one at a time, until life exists again. When I did wake up from a coma, I learned that Hans Sari, my ski partner and close friend, was dead. He had skied a couloir 3 days after I went into a coma and had fallen to his death. So I learned that when I came to out of the coma. And it's taken me years to be able to deal with that trauma, Hans's death and my accident. At Exum Mountain Guides, I'm the president. I am the director of operations, but foremost, I'm a mountain guide and have been for 19 years. Guide is a facilitator of mountainous adventure. Guide is a teacher of technical systems, environmental educator, and a companion in the mountains. Exum Mountain Guides is a 80-plus-year-old guide service, arguably the most prestigious, and employs 70 mountain guides. Guiding at Exum has always been an educational position. What we're trying to do is teach people how to climb without guides, how to be independent climbers. And it's a really bad business model. We don't want any blisters today, because tomorrow is the goal, right? Tomorrow is the event we're planning for, and you guys have planned for by training so much. Today we're going up the Grand with the High School Mountain Club. And this year we're hoping to take up 32 kids to the summit of the Grand Teton. This group of kids has been training with Exum all autumn, and they are psyched. So this next section's pretty steep, and the trail is less defined, and a lot of people think it's the hardest part of the whole walk. It's important for kids to experience things that are real, that are authentic, that might cause them to think, to plan, to exert some energy, and to have a goal. And it allows these kids a different perspective of the world. And this solidifies that connection of the rope between people and creates a very deep bond. When I was 16, I had an epiphany, a life-changing moment where a friend's father brought me top roping. I remember my first step on a small hold with a sticky rubber shoe, and it's changed my life. And that's part of the way that I have come to this place right here now. Because I dedicated my whole life, surrounded my whole life, and organized my life in such a way that I could keep on climbing. All your carabiners are locked, huh, guys? Yes. Harnesses are tight. You guys adjust layers as need be. Nice and loud signals, you guys. On 3. Climbing. mountain experiences are important because they're dangerous, because there's adventure. And I think that adventure is something that people seek as a human. We need that element of uncertainty in our lives. And that enables us to really be in the moment. When you're moving well and you're just simply climbing and reacting to the mountain, just like you react to the mountain when you're on a ski descent, it does feel like you're climbing the mountain and the mountain is allowing you to do it, and it is a relationship. And I don't think it's just because you're aware and you're making good choices, but it's just some synergy that comes about when you're aware and open.
Good morning, this is Teton National Forest avalanche hazard and mountain weather forecast for the Teton area. The maximum temperature during the previous 24 hours was 19 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds at 10,400 feet of average 25 miles per hour out of the west-southwest with gusts of 59 miles per hour.
To control the noise in your mind is a lifetime quest. Bring yourself back to the moment. That's all you're trying to do. The moment and the task at hand.
So the plan, you guys, is we're gonna stay along this plateau and skin towards that far col and then drop in.
Today I'm taking 2 people out into the backcountry in the Tetons to go skiing. We're hoping to ski places that are untracked and that we don't see anybody all day long. I do feel my role as a ski guide is to bring out the best in people in the mountains and to allow them to relax, but also perform. Get rid of the baggage and don't create any diversions. Allow them to perform at their best when it counts. That one turn that really means something.
I don't know if you guys can see this, but right here is a grapple layer that formed at the beginning of the storm cycle. And this is all the snow that fell during the storm cycle. So we're looking at 67 centimeters of snow.
And ideally what we're doing is moving through the mountains, linking the terrain together, never repeating runs, and it's always a point of discovery. When you're skiing with a friend, you're sharing some very important moments. And you're sharing something that's supremely skier, supremely special, and intimate. You're sharing your decades of experience and your decades of thought and planning. And you're giving away this knowledge, which as a skier is revealing. Who you reveal these things to is important. Not everyone gets shown the perfect line. I've pursued this sport. And the sport to me is largely about the feeling of the speed and the float, the space between the turns. And that's the beauty of it for me. But my life has been punctuated in my adult life by ski accidents. I didn't realize that the coma was a bigger thing to survive than actually the fall. It didn't possibly hit me until much later, because I was merely just surviving and had barely come away with my life, and so I certainly couldn't process what was happening or what had happened. Wanted to bring my family here because I wanted to wrap up this chapter of my life. And it really feels like healing to have them here. There's definitely some anxiety in returning. It was a major event in my life. I'm very lucky to be here. And it's on my mind frequently. I'm looking forward to going to those places where I skied 11 years ago and looking at the terrain and thinking about, in particular, how that accident did occur. Initially, I came here with Hans and Chris Erickson because this is the focal point of ski mountaineering, of steep skiing in the world, and it always has been. And so we came here to ski some of the lines that the great skiers had skied in the past. The reason I did want to ski that line, although I was fearful of it, I was tired of being scared, and I wanted to put it behind me. Yeah, I remember it exactly. And so that, at the end of that snow arête, there's a slight bump.
Yes. Yes.
I'm remembering now. And this, a big sweeper cut back right. And the snow just like came over me, and then enveloped me, and then it was like a slow motion thing. Dang.
Yeah.
Lucky. So that fall in Chamonix occurred after I had been ski guiding in Alaska. So I knew how to ski steep slopes. I knew how to ski guide in really steep, slough possible slopes. And went on vacation, and so did my brain. You know what I'm most surprised at is how cavalier I was to come here and just like charge around. That's the most surprising thing. How naive I was. Looking from the bridge, I was like, that's not a very serious run. But then you start skiing it, and it's serious. And a few events come to play, and the conditions are correct, and you make a bad decision, and come out lucky if you're fortunate.
To be a ski mountaineer is, you have to be really good at all these travel modes of the mountains. And it takes a lot of time to get really good at all those things. And while you're learning to get good at all those things, including improving your judgment, I think you're at a tremendous amount of risk. And I view it as like passing through a portal or a window, and until you've learned enough skill, knowledge, and have the ability, there's a very long period of time where you're vulnerable to getting hurt. I don't think anyone should try to conquer fear just for the sake of conquering fear. You need to learn from your mistakes, but not dwell upon them, and carry on. And if the mountains are still important to you, you continue to go there. Before I was very goal-oriented and trying to achieve as much as I could as a skier. And now the experience is more important for me. Just start to appreciate the limited time you have and to really appreciate each day. Perhaps it's because of surviving. And of course, having a son does that as well. To choose to have a family gives more intention to your life because you're trying to grow a life around you and show someone how to behave in this world. And it makes me very appreciative for having simply survived. What are you building? Skiing and climbing are two very liberating pursuits because they allow you to see how strong you are as a human. They make you feel powerful because people inherently are. But the beauty is when you realize the end result, summit, is not the ultimate goal, but it's the process. It's the life. It's where you are now.